All right, so this is a video from Infamous Energy, which is the first time we are watching this creator. So especially when it is the first time we are watching a creator, make sure you hit that link that just showed up in the Twitch chat up above my head. If you are on YouTube, it will be down in the description below. Please like and subscribe to this video. Please support the official release of the video because that's how you don't be a jerk and you're not a freeloader. So yeah. So this video, even though Otts is there, it's not Otts, it's talking about certain killers are a problem. It's very interesting. The thumbnail had Singularity, which I find to be a pretty boring but fairly good killer. Pig, very interesting one. And there was someone else. Who is the third person on the thumbnail? And Sadako, who I particularly find to be a very flowchart boring killer on both sides of the game. So I agree with 2 out of the 3. But we'll see how they perceive these killers to be a problem and get into that, even if they. I'm assuming they're going to talk about those killers. It's not clickbait, but yeah.
Starber has me captive, and it's making me watch killer guides. Oh, and welcome to Infamous Energy. Today I wanted to talk about some killers in the game who may lack a little something. Some of them conflict with their lore, others have gameplay design flaws, and some of them just lack the aesthetic. Now I'm going to go into why that might be. Is it behavior's fault, or just the lack of good reception from the players? First up is the category I'm going to call the I want to kill you killers. Now what in the hell is that supposed to be? I mean, every killer wants to kill you, right? Well, yes and no. These are the killers that usually tend to kill you in unconventional means, aka their main goal is not to hook you. The killers that come to mind.
Oh, you started talking crap about Pyramid Head.
Sadako, Pyramid Head, Myers. You know what I'm.
Yeah, well, like out of these, it's just these 2. Pig, fine. They just need to adjust like the scream resetting the progress on the boxes thing. Pyramid's fine. Pyramid's literally just. Pyramid's great. Pyramid's in a perfect spot. Really, really solid, really, really good killer, but not OP. Myers, Tombstone piece. Tombstone, Judah's Tombstone. We talked about that in the last video. Sadako, most boring flowchart gameplay ever. They took the Condemn strat, which was a thing that certain Sadakos did that was like already really annoying, and made it part of her base kit. So now almost every Sadako match plays out the exact same from both sides, which is... I don't want to face a killer and have every single match play out the exact same way. And almost every Sadako match plays out almost the exact same way. It is such a flowchart game every time there's a Sadako, whether you're playing as them or against them, and it's just not fun.
You know what I'm talking about. Their goal might not be to right away sacrifice you, but to maybe kill you another way.
It was my first trailer.
The issue with that is that it can often avoid a lot of perks survivors use, which can be very frustrating. If the killer doesn't have to pick you up, there's no decisive strike, deliverance, or anything like that can come into play. Pyramid Head is the lesser of the theoretical evils.
Yeah, Pyramid's fine, I think.
The essential equivalent of what would be 2 hook states. Myers is a problem in of itself. The add-ons being the only access to this ability really isn't a good choice, and it is quite broken when he can do it. Just being able to grab a survivor at any health state and automatically mori is pretty great. The 2 killers most often criticized by people, though, are Sadako and the Pig. Let's talk about the Pig first. If you've been playing DBD for a while, chances are you remember some of her old add-ons. These add-ons being the Tamper Timer and Creative Gears. They essentially, before getting some of their numbers nerfed, allowed the Pig's reverse bear traps to get more kills more often. People were not happy with this. I'm not gonna lie though, I was kind of on the opposite end. Hear me out though. Me being a pig man at the time bias aside, I was overall just a big fan of Saw. The victims dying to the traps was kind of the point. I mean, for real though, what would be the point of watching an entire Saw movie and no one ever dying to the traps, and everyone just ends up escaping in the end? I mean, that's just part of the challenge though. You can't have an unbalanced mess of a game for the sake of accuracy, but then again, lacking that can make the game less enjoyable as well. Now, the next couple killers are on this list.
I think her hats are in a good spot. She just needs her stealth and her dash to be improved. Her hats are honestly the most fair and good they will be outside of like the reset, the reset progress thing. Like, she doesn't need the other half of her kit to be like that.
There are killers that just really aren't that popular in the community, and I wanted to kind of tackle on why. Those killers being the Twins, Skull Merchant, and the Singularity. There are people out there who really enjoy these killers' playstyles, and that's completely fine. I mean, there are definitely some likable parts about each of these killers. Even Scott Junn has gone on record to talk about Singularity, and overall it being a pretty likable killer.
This looks like... I don't know why there's like this very like... Or like 140p image is the image they chose for Scott. Like, it's such a minor, not important thing, but it's just like... like a freeze frame. Like, this looks like, like those like those like true crime like shows that you would watch it, like, you know, like Forensic Files and stuff. It was like Scott was happy until he wasn't, and then it like inverts the colors. That's what this looks like.
My issue though is with the community's deduction about why people just don't play Singularity very often.
Because he's such a intensive character for such little like payoff. Like, he's a fairly good character. I think in the right hands he's like low A, high B tier. But like, it's all the setup just to be like a turbo M1 killer, you know? It's like Myers if Myers was a good character. That's how it feels like. Like, all that setup is just so you can be like a turbo M1 character is like, even if you're getting the results that are good, you're just kind of like the payoff is just doesn't feel good to me.
Being is because of the commitment to the result ratio just is not worth it for that killer.
And then the Fire Nation attacked, yeah.
People simply do not play these killers because they are not cool. They are not Alien or Michael Myers, these really well-known horror icons, and they aren't Nurse or Blight, who are just the cream of the crop when it comes to killer tier lists. And they definitely are not the same as killers like Legion or Wesker, who people just love to run around and have fun with. People just do not want to put those types of killers down. People are less likely to pick these killers when playing the game and purchasing DLC because they are not standouts amongst the crowd. The ideas are there for them, but they just don't pack the same oomph as a hallucination of a murderous man carrying a sword from Final Fantasy. And finally, the last...
it's a giant pair of scissors, and it's only the one half. If you actually played Silent Hill 2, If you actually played Silent Hill 2, you'd be able to find the other half of the scissors down in the Pyramid Head's lair, and then James can use the Pyramid Head sword himself. So, actually, it's a giant pair of scissors. You should have really, really brushed up in your Silent Hill lore before you made this video, sir. Sorry, ran over.
The killers I wanted to focus on are more of a personal take, the ones who I think play it pretty safe in gameplay design. Some killers that come to mind for me are the Demogorgon, Nemesis, and Ghostface. Partly this is applying to the licensed killers, but you can make similar cases to the original.
It's called the Great Knife.
But what is wrong with their gameplay in my eyes? Well, nothing really. There are just some things I wish were added to their kits just to play into their origins a little bit more.
I think
things like allowing
demos
Ghostface
perfectly
to
balanced.
hop in and out of lockers, waiting to strike, or imagine if the Demogorgon would play into its animalistic side. Instead of its usual shred attack, it gets onto all fours and books it through the realm, making survivors feel like they're actually being chased by a wild beast. What if Nemesis had a grab function with his tentacle? And what if everyone watching this video just took a moment to scroll down and like and subscribe?
What you should do!
Seriously though,
what you should do.
Before Oz comes back, it would be greatly appreciated. But as I was saying, it would be really cool if you hit a survivor through Revolt, especially Animation would then play, or he could even use his sleep projectile from the RE3 remake that put Jill out of commission. Not exactly like that, but it's those extra layers and details that can really bring a killer to life. Just like the new Chucky chapter, really making it feel like he was pulled straight out of the movies. It can be the same for all of these.
Can't wait till this drops.
Now, I'm not saying give Nemesis a flamethrower or something, but just some ideas, you know. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or night or whatever ethereal time you might be watching this at. I'll see you all next time.
Yeah, I think that I feel like no, like I obviously have harped on Sadako. Sadako's flowchart gameplay is very I wish that almost every match of Sadako didn't play out the same, because it kind of basically does, because the condemned part has been like it's just they made her basically only to make her not as weak. They forced the optional gameplay style that required some level of skill and macro awareness, which is the condemned play style, and just crammed it into her base kit. That way it's now everybody can do it. It's like the flashlight save buff they did last year, where they gave it an extra second of leniency. It was just this cool thing that required timing and skill. They just said, well, we want everybody to be able to do it, and they crammed it in. And now the flashlight saves feel a little less rewarding. Same thing with Sadako. It's we want everybody to be able to do the condemned strat, so we just crammed it into her kit so she wouldn't be as weak, because people would compliment, or not compliment, but would get mad at how not great she was. But now she's great but boring, because they just crammed it into there. Big set traps are fine. Skull Merchant, they need it. I have no confidence they will ever fix Skull Merchant. I mean, Skull Merchant is just always going to be in a place of just this is an annoying character. Just varying degrees. Varying degrees. Varying degrees. I'm just annoying. Twins, I hope they're reworking them, so hopefully they'll find a way to make them fun and appealing some way, hopefully. So, yeah. but I don't know. I think when they listed like Demo, Nemesis as characters that needed a little bit extra, I think they're fine. Ghostface probably needs a little bit something because he's fairly weak, but like Demo, Nemesis, I think are pretty fairly well designed and pretty like well balanced as characters. I feel like if you give them too much, they start becoming like dumb, like obnoxious. I think they're in pretty good spots to both of those characters. Nemesis could probably use a little bit more fun add-ons, a little bit more useful add-ons. Demos, probably same thing because most people only run Bard's Glasses and Blackheart, but you know, maybe just give them more fun add-ons. But those characters are in pretty good spots. So yeah, I agreed with some of these, not others, but you know, that's why all takes are subjective. That's why all takes are subjective. Need a good add-on pass, by the way. Solid B killers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There isn't much of a reason for pressure. I mean, it's for macro pressure, for map traversal. Nemi needs an add-on where everybody starts on a perk. That'll be balanced. Yeah, totally. Totally balanced. Totally. Yep. That sounds like some Myers style level add-on design. That clearly Tombstone's a good inspiration for add-on design. We need more of that.